Alright guys, how you doing? Got a video today, Mig-29 versus Mig-29. We're going to go for a BVR fight. We're carrying everything the Mig can carry. R27 ERs, ETs, R77s, and the R73 heat seekers. The ETs are also heat seekers. So I've given the MiGs a little bit of everything, and it's going to be me against Xoho, and we're going to see what we can do. 2-round BVR fight, MiG versus MiG. Let's go ahead and get started.
On station at bullseye 100-460 at 7,000.
Overlord 102. Request bogey dope.
102. Overlord Bra 309-460 at 30,000 hot.
Alright, so he's about 30,000 feet, coming right at me. Still don't have him on radar, which is typical of the MiG's radar.
Overlord 102. Request bogey dope.
102. Overlord Bra 309-445 at 35,000 hot.
Alright, so he's pushed up to 35,000 feet. So he's climbing. He's up there somewhere. So once I pick him up on radar, I'm gonna probably immediately give him a Fox 1. Force him defensive. There he is. I got him on radar now. I'm gonna go ahead and lock him up. Okay, he's just below 50 kilometers. Fox 1.
102. Overlord Bra 320-425 at 35,000 hot.
35,000.
102. Overlord Bra 321-460 at 30,000 flanking.
Alright, so you can see he's cranking to the left here, so I'm gonna pull left with him. He has me locked up. Okay, he's fired at me. I'm gonna give him Fox 3, he's extending down. There's Fox 3, I'm gonna defend by going down as well.
102. Overlord Bra 319-410 at 23,000
I thought about
flanking.
recommitting there, but it's a little too risky.
102. Overlord Bra 325-450 at 30,000 flanking.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Okay, we're recommitting now. See if we can sneak in a Fox 2. defend again.
Overlord, Bra 35346 at 6,000 flanking. 102, Overlord, Bra 327 450 at 38,000 flanking.
Alright, we're close enough that I can use this. Okay, we're gonna go Fox 3. Alright, here we go. This is our dogfight here. This is me, obviously, and this is Xoho off in the distance here, Mig-29. We started about the same altitude. I think it was around 30,000 feet. Separated by about 30 nautical miles to begin. So right off the bat, the first thing I'm going to do is try to force him defensive. And I'm going to do that by locking him up and hitting him with a Fox 1. Okay, the R-27ER is what I'm going to launch. At 23 nautical miles, I don't have very high expectations of this missile impacting anything. What I am hoping for is to just force him defensive, just so he can't close on me comfortably, right? So here we go. There comes that Fox 1. I'm maintaining with him. You can see he's cranking to my left, and so what I'm going to do is also crank in that general direction just to keep my my gimbal limits, keep him within the gimbal limits of my radar. It's easier if you crank in the same direction, I find. It's just personal preference. So what he's doing here by defending my missile, as you can see, he's forcing my missile to turn in this direction in order to intercept him, right, as he cranked in this direction. And what he's done there is, we've talked about this before, he's bleeding my missile energy by pulling off to one direction. But the other thing that he's doing is that what he would want to do is also give me an air density change by diving. He doesn't want to do that yet. He's maintaining about 30,000 feet altitude, which isn't great. Like that means that my missile is going to have it's going to have non-thick air. It's low density air that it's going to have to fight to hit him. And so that means that that's an advantage for my missile, although him cranking is a disadvantage as he's bleeding the energy. He doesn't want to do that because, like I said, I fired it at a pretty far distance, and simply cranking is enough to beat a missile at this distance. So let's watch what he's doing now. As he cranked off in this direction here, he's now turning back nose hot into me, pulling what appears to be an F-pole in order to bleed that missile, and he's going to fire off his heat seeker R-27ET and an R-77. This is a Fox 3, Fox 2, Fox 3. So he's keeping his Fox 1. I'm the only one who's fired a Fox 1 in this situation. And at this point, this is when he decides that he wants to go defensive by going down, extending down, and dragging this R-27ER into dense air. He's essentially beat it already, because look at the curve he's forcing this missile to have to take, right? At double, it's going this way, and then it's having to come this way, and that's going to bleed massive amounts of energy off the missile. But the missile was never intended to actually hit him. It was just supposed to force him defensive, which it did do, as he's going defensive now. So he's fired off an ET and a 77, and he's done that because the ET is a heat seeker, so it doesn't require too much lock it can pick me up. Not sure if it can do it at this distance. I'm not really an expert on the Russian missiles, but it should be capable of picking me up at this distance. And the R-77 is a Fox 3 that carries its own radar head, which means that as he extends and points his nose down, he's going to lose lock on me. But that's okay, because the missiles he's fired is not a Fox 1 and does not require guidance from the aircraft as mine does. Okay, so me having fired a Fox 1, I gotta keep him locked the entire time in an effort to hit him. So that missile's coming in at about Mach 1.3 and he's already beat it. Okay, you can see he's dropping his chaff. He may be able to hit a beam against the missile at a very small increment here. As he goes down, he may be able to beam the missile and it may go for chaff. But not that it matters, it already doesn't have enough energy to do anything significant. So I, at this point, have gone defensive as well. However, I have fired my own Fox 3. And the reason I've done that is because as I point my nose down to defeat these two missiles he's fired and pull them into dense air, as soon as I do that, my Fox 1 is going to lose lock. And the tone inside his aircraft for his RWR is going to disappear, and he's going to know that he's clear to push onto me and most likely kill me, as our separation is only 10 nautical miles. It's not that far anymore. So what I do is I fire this Fox 3 because it's going to maintain his defensive posture and stop him from being able to close on me, forcing him to continue his defensive maneuver until I can get down there and then recommit onto him. Alright, so you can see that as I go down, there was a fraction of a second here where I thought about recommitting, but then I decided it wasn't a great idea. And also, I don't recommend this thing that I'm doing here, how I'm diving for the ground kind of diagonally. I recommend a 90 degree like extension right to the ground, kind of like Xoho did here. I'm not really sure why I went diagonal here, but because I went diagonal like this, you can see I actually kind of come close to getting hit by one of these missiles here. See, I should have been able to defeat that one much easier than I did here, but you can see by this point I've committed to the 90 degrees straight down. And there's that Fox 3, and it's also not going to have the energy to follow me down. Okay, so let's have a look at Xoho. He has defeated the Fox 1 as expected, but you can see that Fox 3 is still coming at him and it's continuing to force him defensive. Right, look how he has to actually turn away from me because of this R-77. If I hadn't fired this, at this point he would have been able to easily come in and recommit. And you can see I'm still not ready to recommit. Okay, so it's a very good thing I fired off this Fox 3 as it forced him to stay defensive. As he turns cold on me and turns his back to me, you can see, watch me here, I'm recommitted. Okay, I'm now scanning with the radar, trying to see if I can pick something up. He does eventually defeat that Fox 3, and now he is turning to recommit. However, I've long picked him up on radar at this point, and I'm going to hit him with an ET. Now what I do at this point, the reason I fire the ET is because I'm hoping that it's close enough that he also won't get a tone for it, which is another reason why I'm firing the ET. But I'm hoping that he doesn't have a visual and this missile could maybe hit him. However, you can see one of the mistakes I've done is I haven't pointed my bore sight, my nose of my aircraft, at Xoho here. And by having fired the missile off bore sight, what I'm forcing the missile to do is have to turn onto him, which is not a good way to fire a missile. You're essentially shooting yourself in the foot and bleeding that missile energy for him. So you're actually helping him out if you do what I'm doing here. So that's one of my mistakes there. But you can see there's that ET, and he is not defending it. Okay, he should be dropping flares at this point, but he's not defending it. He has dropped chaff. Not entirely sure why he's done that. He's more than defeated that 77, so I'm not really sure what's going on here. But you can see he's definitely not defending against the ET. and I'm not sure if he saw it, but he didn't defend against it. However, he did manage to maneuver kill it. He just pulled up and the missile just didn't have the energy required to hit him. If I hadn't made that initial mistake, it's possible that the missile may have had enough energy to hit him. But anyway, so he manages to scrap that missile, and he is now coming back, and he is committed before me. Okay, I just pulled off just to be safe. Once I fired that ET, I just broke off. I probably shouldn't have. I should have stayed committed and probably hit him with a 77 at this point, but I didn't. I just played it safe and I went cold anyway. So he's now recommitted. I'm still turning. He's scanning. He's dropped his tank there. And I'm more... if I had to say what's going on here, I don't think he was able to pick me up on radar. The Mig-29 radar takes a little bit of time to pick up the target, especially if you're not sure exactly where to look. And I think he had some trouble picking me up, which is why he's doing these little maneuvers. He doesn't quite know where to look. He's dropping flares, more than likely, like I said, because he doesn't know where I am, and he's hoping that there's no Fox 2 coming at him right now. So he's dropping a couple of flares to be safe. By the time he figures out what's going on, I don't think he ever actually found me. And what happened is I got off the R-77. And an R-77 at this range, at 3.9 nautical miles, this is an extremely difficult missile to defeat at this distance. And so he was dropping his flares. He's now getting the tone in his aircraft for a Fox, a radar guided Fox 1 or Fox 3, and he knows that because of the loadout that this is definitely a Fox 3, because I already fired a Fox 1 at him. He should be able to deduce that. Also because the ER, I believe, has a better range, so he would have been able to make the assumption that the missile I fired at the beginning with a longer range would have been the ER and not the 77. But, you know, it doesn't really matter. He knows there's a radar guided missile coming at him because his RWR is going off, which is why he stops dropping flare. And like I said, it's an extremely difficult missile to avoid at this distance, and therefore he ends up eating it. So, you know, it was a good fight. He put up a really good fight, good defensive maneuvers here. His only problem was the fact that he wasn't able to pick me up on radar quickly here. This could have resulted in him getting off a Fox 3 and killing me, but it didn't happen fast enough for him. His radar wasn't able to pick me up. Mach 2. He's going to take that R-77. Alright guys, so that's that fight. I hope that you enjoyed something, or you know, you were entertained in some way. Like I said, I'm not a MiG-29 expert. I'm not very good with Russian missiles. If you have better tactics than I do, then by all means let me know, and I'd be happy to consider using them. If they're better than mine, why not? Alright guys, let's go ahead and check out round 2.
Overlord, on station at Bulls 100-460 at 7,000. 102, Overlord, Bra 309-460 at 29,000 hot. 102, Overlord, Bra 320-480 at 30,000 cold.
Okay, so you can see he has his jammer on, so I'm gonna throw mine on.
Overlord, 102. Request bogey dope.
102, Overlord, clean.
Overlord, 102. Request bogey dope.
102, Overlord, clean.
That's not good. AWACS can't see him.
102, Overlord, pop-up group 308-445 at 1,000 hot.
So he's pretty far down there.
102, Overlord, Bra 319-480 at 30,000 flanking.
So he's dropped his altitude pretty low here.
Request bogey dope.
102, Overlord, Bra, 308, 435 at 10,000 hot.
Okay, he's coming back up. He's at 10,000. He dropped his lock. Alright, I have him locked up.
102, Overlord, Bra, 310, 423 at 13,000 flanking.
Alright, he's going to the right. He's cranking right.
102, Overlord, Bra, 322, 460 at 30,000 flanking.
Fox 1. Okay, he's fired on me. Fox 2. Fox 3.
102, Overlord, Bra, 322, 411 at 5,000 hot. 102, Overlord, Bra, 324, 460 at 30,000 flanking.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Okay, he's over there. I can see him. Gonna try to pick him up with the vertical scan. Oh, he's right in front of me. Oh, I'm so dead. I'm so dead.
Left engine fire.
Alright, so here is the round 2 tac view. This time the engagement kicks off a little bit closer. We're about 22 nautical miles when it all kicks off. You can see Xoho's cranking to my right. He has not forced me defensive, therefore I'm able to very easily push up on him, which allows me to increase the effective range of this missile. And given the situation, I probably should have waited a little longer to fire it, but that's okay. So I fire this one off. There's my Fox 1, and Xoho's coming back around in order to fire his missile. He chooses to fire the exact same thing. He's got a Fox 1 off. You can see this missile is setting an intercept route, right? So it's coming over here, thinking that he's coming over here, so it's going to try to kill him here. So it's headed in that direction, which is a curve. So he is in a sense pulling a little bit of an F pull. Not entirely, it's kind of like a half F pull, but still good. He's still pushing the missile left and right to bleed missile energy, which is effective. Not as much as pushing it into dense air, but it's effective. So he's going to fire his R-27ER, but again, he has to maintain lock as well for this missile to be effective. Okay. Therefore, he can't totally break defensive because of the Fox 1. Now, because we were a little bit closer, I fire off the ET as well, the Heat Seeker, hoping that as he is busy defending this ER, he's not going to notice the ET coming in, and he won't use his flares, and hopefully it'll kill him. I figured at 11 nautical miles, it's pretty close, and it should be effective. His ER is coming in, so he has to maintain a missile lock. And you can see I also fired a 77 off. Okay, so I went Fox 1, Fox 2, Fox 3. There's my R-77. And this was in an attempt to kill him as I broke off, right? I was going to nose down and I was going to defend against this ER, and therefore I was forced into firing the R-77 in an attempt to kill him as I break lock, right? Because the R-77 has its own radar. Alright, so I defeat that missile very easily. Let's have a look at Xoho defending these two missiles. The ET is essentially out of energy, so it won't be able to turn with him. The R-77, he manages to outmaneuver it by turning into the missile. Okay, so you can see the missile's path this way, and Xoho turns into it. And the missile just doesn't have the maneuverability to want to turn with him and hit him. So that's how he defeats that missile, the R-77. So very nice moves. He obviously knew exactly what he was doing because there was no chaff usage. He was confident in his abilities there. And let's watch me here. I have that R-27ER coming. I've popped a couple of flares, only because I was concerned that maybe he may have fired the ET as well, just like I did, trying to sneak in a heat seeker kill. But so I popped a couple of flares just to be safe. So as I come around to recommit at 3.7 nautical miles, this is when I realize that he is right in front of me, and I see the launch of whatever missile he fired. I have the Tone R-77, and he also fired the R-27ET, his heat seeker. So he's fired a Fox 3 and a Fox 2. So having seen that, I know, I'm pretty sure I'm dead here, right? So I just drop everything I got, hoping to at least kill him as I die. So I fire off an R-77, a 73, and another 73. I pop flares. His ET goes for the flares. His R-77 is not that stupid, and at that close range, it's going to get a kill. So he's going to kill me here. Now what happens here, him killing me is not the interesting part, although it was a nice kill. It's the way he defends the three missiles that's interesting. So as he does this, the R-77, me being killed here, the R-77 has switched to its own onboard radar in order to kill the target. And notice how he's beaming it in this turn. As he does the turn, at a certain point during the turn, he's going to be at a 90-degree angle with the missile. Okay, which means that the missile is essentially blind to where he is, the way that he's turning. And he's dropped the chaff as well, which is going to confuse the missile. It's going to think that these are separate targets that it can go for. Okay, so essentially he's made the missile blind, he's beaming it, and the missile goes stupid for the chaff. Okay, so that's how he defeats the R-77, which was really the one that I was really hoping was going to get him. But he does that. So now he has the problem of the R-73s. So what he does, he pulls them high and drops the flares. And you can see they struggle to gain altitude with him, and they go for the flares. So he makes them go stupid and also kind of bleeds them for a little bit of energy as he forces them to turn to climb. And that's a little bit, but he's pulling them into less dense air. If you're asking me, I mean, it still worked, but if he wanted to be extra safe, he should have just continued his escape as he was doing as he was turning cold on me with the R-77. He should have just continued. It would have been safer, but it still works. So that's how he's gonna get that kill, and he's gonna defeat 3 missiles. So pretty awesome work by Xoho there. Good kill for him. Alright guys, so that's gonna be the video for me. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you found it entertaining. And like I said, I'm no expert in the Russian missiles, so if you see anything here you can do better, you have some tips or something for me, I'd love to hear them in the comment section. I'd be happy to use them in my next fight. It would help me out a lot. So yeah, go ahead and tell me if you have any tips and stuff. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.